Just as people are starting to feel that the alternative media is sort of starting to supplant the mainstream media, this comes along. Do you think there's any correlation between the two?
I'm not sure, but I've talked to some of my colleagues and at other commissions. For example, Commissioner Lee Goodman over the FEC, the Federal Election Commission. And he's been outspoken against attempts to regulate some of the political speech that the online platform has enabled. And I think one of the great things about the internet is it's given voice to all kinds of people whose views for years were either ignored altogether or were unfairly skewed, because there was essentially a bottleneck function where only a few media outlets were able to characterize what those views were and decide whether to cover them or not. And I think that's one of the reasons why it's so important to those of us who cherish the First Amendment freedom to speak, the freedom to publish, to stand up whenever there is any threat to infringement of that freedom, because freedom, the First Amendment freedom that's guaranteed under the Constitution isn't just a cold piece of parchment sitting in the National Archives. It's a cultural commitment. It requires every American, regardless of political affiliation, to stand up and say, no, I don't think the government should be the arbiter of what gets said and how it gets said. So that's part of the reason why folks over the Federal Election Commission have been speaking out. It's one of the reasons I've been speaking out at the Federal Communications Commission, because I don't want the government to micromanage how the infrastructure of the internet works. It's important for people at all agencies and just frankly all across the country to stand up and make their voices heard on behalf of internet freedom.
And what can we do now that this has happened?
Well,
is there anything that we as individuals can do to help?
Absolutely. I think this is not the end of the road for the net neutrality issue. The courts are going to have to review what the FCC did. Congress is taking an active interest. And if there's a future commission of a different persuasion, that commission might end up changing the current decision. So I think most immediately people should get in touch with their elected representatives, let them know what they think, both about the process by which this plan was adopted and the negative effects of the plan itself. And try hopefully to get Congress engaged.
Right. Okay. Thank you very much.
Thank you.